Hey everybody, it is Monday, November 21st, the week of Thanksgiving. This is Ed Carvajal. You can follow me on Twitter at Carbazel, and this is the Carbazel MMA podcast. I'm doing it a little early this week because of the holiday, and there were so many fights last week that I didn't even get to cover them all the way or watch them, just because there's so many, and I was actually doing some work. I was working at an expo for my own website, theblogboardjungle.com. So if you're interested in anything like that, comic books and all that geek culture stuff, you can go there and check it out. However, I did get to watch Bellator 165. I watched the main event of that, Benson Henderson versus Michael Chandler for the title, where Chandler defended, but that fight coming to the end of the year, that's definitely like a fight of the year fight for me anyway. And speaking of fight of the year candidates, LC Davis is going to be coming on to talk about his upcoming fight at Bellator 166 against Marcos Galvao. That's Friday, December 2nd. The reason why I bring up fight of the year is because his fight with Hideo Tokoro back last year should have been fight of the year. I think Yahoo called it fight of the half year or something like that. Definitely a fight of the year candidate for that year, and one that I actually go back and rewatch because it's just so live. So if you haven't seen it, I think the number is 134. It's March of 2015. LC Davis versus Hideo Tokoro. I'm definitely going to bring that up to him when he calls in. So I'm waiting on his call, but coming at you early just because of the weekend. So while I'm waiting just to get some quick advertising out of the way, if you want to help out the podcast and keep it alive, please go to theblogboardjungle.com. When you want to make an Amazon purchase, and click on any of the Amazon links on that site, and you'll be helping the podcast out. And it won't cost you anything but whatever you planned on buying anyway. So this will also be featured on frontproofmedia.com, the site that I cover combat sports for. So without further ado, here is the LC Davis interview. In case I run out of time, I'll say it now before we talk to LC Davis. Just for you and your family, please have a happy Thanksgiving. Take it easy on Friday. Don't eat too much. Get some training in, work out. And there are fights, so watch some fights this weekend. And we'll talk to you soon. All right. LC Davis interview. So I'm just looking over your notes here. I'm actually, forgive me if I'm a little tongue-tied because I'm excited to talk to you. Your fight with Hideo Tokoro was one I talked about for like a good year and a half, I want to say. So,
yeah, man, that was awesome, man. It's definitely one to remember.
Yeah, man. I mean, you took some damage and you still came out with a win. So I know it was like fight of the year candidate for Yahoo, I think it was. And I always argued for it on social media that it should have been included, in more areas than just like that. They did like a half year fight of the year candidate. So I'm really glad to be talking to you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the love.
Yeah, definitely. So December 2nd, Bellator 166, you're fighting the former champ, Marcos Galvao. That's where's that happening again?
That's in Thackerville, Oklahoma, at the World Star Casino.
All right, that's part of their doubleheader weekend, right? They have two events back to back.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So about your opponent, I mean, he's a former champ. I always feel like there's guys circling that division, and it's usually him, Joe Warren, Eduardo Dantas, and it seems like you. So are you gunning for the title?
Absolutely, man. That's always been the end goal, is to be a world champ, and I feel like I'm still knocking on that door, and I'm looking to kick down the door on December 2nd.
I'm sure you will, man. Are you worried about his submission game at all? I mean, you didn't seem to have any problems with Tokoro when you fought him. I mean, you guys were nonstop. I actually think you can outpace him, but do you think that that's your strength against somebody like him? Your cardio?
My strength against him is just being me, man. I think I'm the better fighter, and I just got to go out there and impose my will. You know, I can't let him dictate the pace or do what he's good at. You know, I got to go out there and do what I'm good at. I feel like it'll be an easy victory for me if I just go out there and be me.
Are you concerned at all with the holidays coming up? I mean, I know you're always working out. I saw you put your wrestling schedule up on social media today. Are you concerned at all with the holiday coming up and making weight and stuff like that? I feel like that's always probably like a dark time of year for fighters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy about missing Thanksgiving, man. I'm weighing in the week after Thanksgiving, so I'm not going to be able to really indulge on all the things I like to eat during Thanksgiving. You know, it is what it is. You know, you got to make sacrifices in this sport, and I'll just, you know, have me a Thanksgiving afterwards when I get home on December 3rd.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's not a bad idea at all. I figured it would be something like that. So, are you just going to avoid people in general over the holiday?
No, man. I mean, I love my family. You know, spend some family time and go over to my family's house, and you know, I'll probably be able to eat some stuff like turkey and stuff like that. Stick with the turkey and veggies, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to stay away from the dessert table.
That must be hard, man. I feel sorry for. I'll be sure and eat your share.
Please do, man.
So on the same card, Dantas and Warren are fighting each other. Is there any pressure being on the same card as two guys you might be fighting? I mean, you've already fought one of them once, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's no pressure at all for me, you know. If anything, the pressure's on them, you know, with me knowing that LC Davis is back and I'm, you know, knocking on that door for that title. So they're going to have to sit back and watch me put on a dominating performance and take my claim for next up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always concerned when I watch guys like you go, because it seems like is there ever too much? Like, do you ever train too hard to the point that it's on fight night, or even the fight? Like, because after your fight with Tokoro and then you fought again not long after that, I always felt like you carried a little bit of that damage over to the next fight. Is that ever a concern for you?
No, man. Well, you know, early in my career, I never took no time off. But as I got older, I've learned to listen to my body a little more. And, you know, after the Tokoro fight, I had a broken jaw, so it kind of forced me to take some time off. I had my mouth wired, and I wasn't able to, you know, eat for 6 weeks. So then, you know, and it was another 6 weeks after that. And so, you know, yeah, so it was just, you know, that was able to slow me down and stuff like that. But I feel great, man. I don't have any nagging injuries. You know, I've had a year off to let my body rest and recover, and I really never felt better, honestly.
Cool. So this fight's, is this going to be like the one that is it a final run for you, or how long do you plan on fighting after if you can make it to another title shot?
You know, I got 3 left of my contract, so I'm planning on honoring those 3 fights. But I'm really just taking it one fight at a time, man. This injury, you know, having ACL reconstruction and being out a whole year, you know, the sport was taken away from me for a whole year. So it really just put things in perspective for me. You can't look too far ahead, you know. You're never promised tomorrow. So right now I'm focused on in front of me. I'm fighting a former world champ the same night as the champions are fighting. So this is a great opportunity right here in front of me. So it'd be stupid of me to be looking ahead at what's next, you know. So all I'm doing is focusing on kicking Marcos Galvao's ass, and then I'll figure out what's next.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I mean, I wasn't trying to disparage you at all. I've been following your career. I know you fought in the IFL and WEC and all that, so I'm a longtime fan. So it's good to know that you're still active and just looking at the guy in front of you for December 2nd. The fact that Galvao had submitted Warren, I know you said you're not worried about it, but is there anything you're overly cautious of? I mean, he beat a guy that you lost the decision to, so.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd be stupid if I wasn't aware of his capabilities. You know what I mean? He's a world champion on the ground. He's a world champion BJJ guy. He's a black belt. He's He's a world champion for Bellator. I'm well aware of his capabilities, but if I sit there and dwell on what he's doing, then I'm not worried about what I need to do, you know. And my fight against Joe Warren, I went into that fight, you know, with an injury that, you know, hindered my performance. And so, you know, I can't say, oh, he beat Joe Warren and Joe Warren beat me. I mean, that really has nothing to do with what's going to happen between me and Marcos Galvao, you know. So I'm just focusing on myself, man. That's the only thing I can control is me. And if I go out there and do what I'm capable of, I beat everyone in this division. So it's going to start with Marcos Galvao on December 2nd.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be that whole weekend is going to be a great lineup of fights. I mean, just last Saturday's event, I was talking about it with the guys from that I work on the site with. Bellator just seems to have lately all their cards just seem to be on fire, and Coker talked about coming to New York second or third quarter when I was at the Mohegan Sun event. Would you be interested in fighting in New York with the wave of MMA coming in New York?
Man, I would love that. You know, like, I've been doing this sport for a long time, and I never fought in New York, man. So, yeah, that would be a dream come true, man. So, if that's in my cards, I would love to fight in New York.
Yeah, it would be great. I mean, that's a lot of MMA fighters' dreams, considering what happened with the history of the sport in that state. But just keep in mind that he said second or third quarter, so that's actually the better time to come because it's not so. I'm actually on the East Coast now, and it's freezing today. So second or third quarter is a little warmer.
Oh yeah.
It'll be better for you.
I'm definitely down to come when it's a little warmer.
Yeah.
I hate the cold weather, man. I just got back from Florida training at American Top Team headquarters, and going from Florida back to the Midwest is a drastic change in temperature. So, yeah, man, I wish I could be in the warm, sunny weather of Florida year-round.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so you travel out to Florida because you're in Kansas City, right?
Yeah, I live in Kansas City. I actually own a American Top Team affiliate school with Jason High. Our gym's called American Top Team HD. But I just got back Sunday from training down in Florida at the headquarters.
Oh, okay. So it's just home for the holidays, and then you travel for fight week.
Yeah. I came back for Thanksgiving week. You know, be here with my family, and then next week is off to Oklahoma. Wow,
that seems like a lot of stress, but I mean, you sound used to it. I mean, I've never seen you fight a boring fight, so I'm really looking forward to Bellator 166. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk. LC, what does it stand for? Or is that a secret?
It stands for my government name. My real name is LaCarvis Davis, the name that my dad made up. I don't know if he was drunk or high or under the influence when he made it up, but he said he was, you know, in a car, and he went past a town called Lamar and put a car and then threw a bus on the end. I was like, oh my God. Like, but, you know, as a kid, I hated the name, and that's why I started going by LC as a kid. I had an uncle named LC Davis, and so I started going by LC as a kid because I used to hate my name. No one could pronounce it. No one could say it right. And but now as an adult, as a grown man, I actually appreciate the name. I'm the only LaCarvis I've ever met. If there's another LaCarvis, they had to copy it from me because my dad made the name up. So, I'm happy with the name, but I go by LC.
Yeah, it is. Both names sound cool in my opinion, anyway. So, you should be proud of your name. I went through the same thing. I'm a little older than you, so I went through the same thing. I hated my first name, and then as an old man, I liked it. But, all right. So, just one last question. So, do you do predictions on your own fights, or you just know you're going to win? Is there how can you call a finish?
I mean, I don't really like to make no predictions or anything like that, but I'm confident that I'm going to get my hand raised on December 2nd. And my son's been saying I'm going to win by knockout, so I'm going to go with that.
Okay, so we'll look for that. Davis wins by KO. All right. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm a big fan. I'm Carbazel on Twitter, so I know me and you have spoken through social media.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's me. but definitely much appreciated. And I guess I'll watch you fight on December 2nd. Good luck to you, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. No doubt, man. I appreciate you.
All right, thanks. Take care.